Alright, hey guys, this is Yoda. Blizzard just dropped a new rework to affixes. They're basically just deleting all of them, but we'll go over that in detail here. So the first thing is segment bolstering, raging, and bursting are gone, along with spiteful, so that bucket's completely gone. They're not bringing back the volcanic bucket either, so volcanic, storming, entangling, incorp, afflicted, those are also gone. And then they're also deleting all these: reckless, focus, attuned, and thorn. So basically every affix that we've ever played with is now gone. So now we're getting Zalatas Bargain, so that's what they're replacing it with. While in combat, there's some orbs of cosmic energy that intend to empower nearby enemies, increasing haste and move speed. If you disrupt them, you get the effect. Then Frenzied, below 30% health, they get 40% more haste, which is a lot. And their damage taken is increased by 20%. So that's kind of cool in my opinion. These are the Kiss Curse affixes. But then, starting at +7, dying is -15 instead. In my opinion, just who cares? It's not a change, really. Starting at +12, a new affixes replaces them instead of any of these Kiss Curse affixes. So basically at 12, 12s are just really easy. So any key that you're playing for score above... So in any key that you're playing for score, these affixes actually just don't exist, and instead the health and damage of enemies is just +20. And also fortified and tyrannical. There's no longer fortified weeks, quote unquote, and tyrannical weeks, quote unquote, are just for lower keys up to 10. After 10, they're all fortified and tyrannical. So that means after 12, there's just fortified, tyrannical, and +20. So after 12, there's basically just no affixes. Every single one of these affixes that are on the key can be summarized by +3 levels on the key. That's it. In my opinion, an affix should be just more than adding a number or reducing the number, whatever you want to call it, on the key level. If it's like this, then there's no affixes, then keys are going to hit their cap basically when you hit your gear cap. So that's like a month into the season. The season is, 4 to 5 months long usually every time. So that means we're just going to be really bored for the whole season, in my opinion. You're going to push for 1 week. You're going to get your, whatever your cap is done. And that's going to be it. As someone who likes to play a lot of Mythic Plus, I don't think that's really the solution that we want or that we need. In my opinion, a better solution would be, instead of flipping the affixes every week, you could flip them when a boss dies. So for instance, I guess I'm cooking a little bit here. Let's say week 1. First of all, I don't think these should go away after +12. So let's say we keep these, right? And then on week 1, let's say you start with Ascendant, but then when you kill the first boss, it switches to Frenzied. You kill the second boss, it switches to Ascendant. You kill the third boss, switches to Frenzied, etc. Then the second week, you start with Frenzied, and when you kill a boss, switches to Ascendant, etc. So that would make it so these affixes are still in the game, but every week is not terrible. If it turns out one of these affixes is better than the other one by a lot, that doesn't mean every week is terrible. That just means, like, let's say, Ascendant is way better than Frenzied. That means on the week where you start with Ascendant, you would try to kill as much as you can, and then kill a boss, and then kill another boss, so you have Ascendant as much as possible, right? Or maybe Ascendant is particularly good for your class or your comp. You do the same thing. So you could do the opposite if Frenzied was better. It would change up your strategy quite a bit. So I think flipping these, like when a boss dies instead of by the week, would be nice. And they could also apply the same concept up here to like Reckless, Focus, Attune, and Thorn, although I don't know how viable that would be. Let's say, for example, right? Let's say it's week 1. The dungeon starts off as Reckless. You kill a boss, and now it's Focus. Then you kill another boss, it's Attune. Then you kill another boss, it becomes Thorned. Obviously, that would only really apply in I think a 4-boss dungeon, right? You start with Reckless, kill first boss Focus, kill second boss Attuned, kill third boss Thorn until the end, right? So I think that could be a pretty cool concept if they just rotated which one started every week, but then it changes when you kill a boss. So it would feel like the weeks are a lot more balanced, because you can just outplay basically starting with the wrong affix by just going to the boss quicker. I mean, obviously some dungeons are just have like a kind of linear route, but usually you can change it up based on the dungeon. I think that would make it a lot more interesting, and at least change things up every week, instead of just full deleting every single affix. Basically, in my opinion, full deleting all the affixes is just saying we're not smart enough to balance our game, so we're just not even going to try, and just make the game really boring. I don't think that's the answer. In my opinion, they should do something like I suggested. Also, I think deleting the volcanic bucket is probably a mistake. These affixes, obviously they're annoying, but I don't think they're that bad. Like you can still play the key. They just cause problems sometimes. They, in my opinion, they add a little bit more spice to the key. I think a little bit of balance is required. For instance, volcanic and entangling I think are fine. You don't need to change anything. Storming can be really annoying, especially for soaking mechanics. I think maybe if they removed the knock up and just made it do like some damage or reduce haste or something, then maybe not reduce haste. That would feel bad. Or like maybe like just like minus 5% damage or something if you get hit. I think that'd be perfectly fine. And afflicted incorp has been kind of a problem, mostly because a couple specs just can't do incorp, and then half the specs can't do afflicted. So my answer to that would be just make them the same affix, and then also make it so everyone can do incorp. The way you do that is if you stun incorp, it goes away. I think everyone that can't do incorp at least has a stun, so that's like warrior and unholy decay have a stun, so they can make it so incorp goes away when you stun it, and they can merge it with afflicted. So my idea would be like every 50 seconds, it just spawns one of each, and then you can dispel the afflicted and you can do whatever to the incorp. I think pretty much every comp in the game can deal with that. So that would be my idea. So yeah, so in summary, I think deleting the affixes altogether after 12, like all this stuff below 12 is just completely irrelevant to me, I guess, because I don't know, keys below 12 are just boring. Like everything just dies instantly and that doesn't hurt. So those keys don't really matter to me. Keys above 12 though, just completely removing all the affixes is going to make the game, in my opinion, super boring. You're going to be done in a month and then just log off WoW. I don't know if that's what everyone wants. If that's what everyone wants, whatever, but I don't think that's the answer long term. All right, thanks everyone for listening to my cook. Peace out.